Welcome to the People Behind Property podcast, where we explore the people, ideas, and strategies shaping property business behind the scenes. Today's episode is about attention. It's how it's earned, how it's kept, and how it's converted into real outcomes. Social media has become unavoidable for agents, and we still see too many agents being secret agents online and business owners. But it's also one of the most misunderstood tools in modern business. My guest today is someone who understands the landscape deeply, not from theory, but from execution and at scale. Joining me today is Daniel Nick, one of the founders of Logic Media. Obviously, the other founder is Patrick McConaughey as well, a good friend of mine as well. A social media marketing agency at Logic Media, which is built on data-driven insight, creative content, real results. Under Daniel's leadership, Logic Media has helped brands surpass the 1 billion views milestone, which is pretty huge, mate, I've got to say. But more importantly, they've done it with a focus on meaningful connection, transparency, and long-term growth, rather than vanity metrics. Daniel, welcome to the podcast, mate.
Thanks, mate. Fuck, what an intro.
Hey, you like that?
I feel special.
Yeah? Well, mate, it is. Well, you have got
That's
1
great.
billion views, right?
Yeah. Over 1 billion.
We've got a good relationship, so it's great to have you here to just
Thanks,
talk
man. I
about.
appreciate you having me.
No, thank you. Talk about your view of the world, bit about your background, because I know your gaming's really interesting, so I want to delve into a bit of that as well. And
Yeah.
you're still doing the game?
Yeah, I still play games. Well, long story short, because I could probably talk about it for too long. Gaming, yes. So how it started was, obviously I wasn't born here.
Yeah.
Born overseas.
Yeah.
Came here when I was like 10, 11,
Yeah.
no English. And then when I came here, jumped into high school, no English again.
Jeez.
It was tough, you got your bullies.
Of course, especially when you can't speak English.
Yeah, and then I'm like but it's something that I'm glad it happened because of all that, it pushed me to do the things I had to do back then. Where obviously, like, if you can't speak to someone, if your English is not good, then you're not very popular in high school.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make many friends. So around, like, I think after a year, I just got obsessed with, obviously gaming was the only thing that, when you went home, because I didn't really go out with friends or anything, it was just go home, get your studies done, and gaming was like my happy place. It was the one place I could just shut it out, ignore it. And then I started watching more YouTube with games and stuff, YouTubers, and then it was like, back then I'm like, oh my God, these guys have millions of followers. I'm like, this is crazy. They get so many likes. And as a kid, I was like, oh my God, they must have so many friends. And, back then it was just like, to me, I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do it.
Yeah,
Maybe that's how I'm going to get friends.
But gaming is actually quite isolating, isn't it?
Yeah, like, well, that's the thing. And then that's why I got into like YouTube. So I posted my first YouTube video when I was 12. And then, like, I actually got some views and some comments. I'm like, oh my God, I finally have some friends. I saw it as friends. It's sad, but it's at the same time, I kind of got obsessed with like how powerful YouTube and like all these social media platforms we're getting.
Yeah.
It was just because I was one of those people that were supporting these guys that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm supporting someone I've never met.
Yeah.
And I look up to that person. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, and then when I got, like, growing up, I just kept doing it. And then I think, but like traditional parents. So, my parents are like, oh, gaming as a job. You're not doing that.
No one would understand that.
Yeah, even to this day, like, I feel like people don't really understand the power and the leverage social media has and marketing. And then when I turned 18, my dad, because my family's in property, when I turned 18, my dad was like, just go get a full-time job, learn about property. So I was like, oh, real estate's good.
Yeah.
So I, joined Ray White Venture Galley.
Yeah.
Met
How long
Paddy.
did you last?
More than a year, which is good.
That's all right.
Not too bad. Well, I enjoyed it because I feel like I enjoyed the part where it is an industry where people work hard.
Yeah.
Like the hours. You have to put in the
Of
hours.
course. Yeah.
I learned a lot from it. And I was lucky because I had good leadership there.
Yeah.
The mentors and, just everyone that I met there. Like, I met Paddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just around COVID or just before COVID, there was just this feeling of like, I'm so young. like I can take all the risk in the planet. Like
Yeah.
there's what am I gonna lose? What's
Yeah.
there to lose? I know you can lose stuff, but like
Yeah.
you're young, like risk it for the biscuit, right?
And you're
And
only,
I'm like
what are you, 23 now, 24?
25 now.
25. Oh,
I'm
you're
getting old.
getting older. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you know, I was like, you know what, gaming, I want to try it.
Because you
And in
ended up
my
with how many? You had a couple of million followers there at one point.
yeah, so but like everyone was like, that's the thing. When I told my dad first, because I was living with him at the time, he was just like, it was, he's
You're
like,
crazy.
you're not
What are
doing
you
that.
doing?
No,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, not under my roof. So I
So
left
you
that
left.
roof.
Yeah.
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 And then I had a bit of saving, so I just grabbed that saving and then I just went all out. Like I just went all in. I was like, you
So
know
you
what?
went all in before Paddy got involved, or
Before.
yeah,
Yeah, before Patty was still like around supporting, helping if I had any questions, but it was more um it was one of those, everyone had some sort of doubt, like,
yeah,
because like even myself, like deep down, I was like, oh my God, these people, like, the gamers and these social media
yeah,
influencers, they've been doing this for like 10 years
yeah,
to have this much following.
yeah.
But it was just more, I'm like, you know what if I just do it 24/7, put in the hours, just
And I've seen
like,
you do that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I was just like, you've got plan A, but no plan B. I don't
yeah,
want to have a plan B. It
yeah,
was just plan A.
yeah,
Which, some might say it's smart, some might say it's stupid,
yeah,
but I'm young. Like, what's there to lose?
yeah. But if you look at what real estate taught you, the thing I've seen in you is the relationships, right? And that's probably from the real estate side of things. You know how to talk
Yeah.
to people.
Yeah.
If you're a
Relationships.
gamer and you hadn't had real estate in there,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. So that's why I'm so grateful that I went through that journey.
yeah,
Like, I learned so much how it's not about, yeah, you gotta, in real estate, yeah, you gotta put in the hours, you gotta do your door knocking, the
yeah,
calls and all that stuff. At the end, people, it's not so much about your age because, like, some people feel like, oh, I'm too young, I need to be like 40
yeah,
and
yeah.
10 years in the business to actually do well. That's
No,
not
it's
true.
not true.
It's
In
just
fact, it's the
relationship.
opposite because if I look at my experience with you, I started this auction business. In fact, Stevie Dolan's introduced you into Ray White Corporate
Yeah.
way back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, who is this kid, right? And I'm thinking to myself, hang on, and I'm hearing, oh, he's a gamer and he's doing content. All I thought was, I don't know how to do this. I need him.
Yeah.
So the fact that you were young and I just thought, I need this guy. That's what I need
Yeah.
because I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And for me, that was incredible. And
Yeah.
I didn't want someone that was 40. I wanted someone that was,
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Look, it's just, I feel like what's helped me was I'm really open minded with like
Yeah.
change. Like
Yeah.
I like change where
Yeah.
a lot of people feel, I feel like a lot of people kind of, they're too comfortable. They're in their comfort zone. Where when it came to like one, like something that was, reason to one of my success was probably like when TikTok came, like, was, growing. TikTok's so big now.
Yeah.
But like back then, before when it just first started,
Yeah.
I was
one of
like,
your big things.
yeah, I was like, oh, like this is a platform. I'm like, why are people not jumping on it that much?
Yeah.
So with the gaming stuff, I hopped on it before gaming on TikTok was a thing. And then after a while, I'm like, this is like, I was enjoying the gaming side, but I feel like I fell in love with the social media because
Yeah.
I feel like I was always obsessed with just social media and the power behind it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
even as a kid, it wasn't so much the games I wanted to watch. It was
Yeah.
the fact that these guys have so much influence. And then Patty was still around and I'm like I love it so much.
Yeah.
And I want to turn it into like I wanna do it for others. Like I feel like I've got that,
Yeah.
I can be the best at this if I just give it my 100%.
Yeah.
And then, he helped me, like he's like, this is what you gotta do. And and then he obviously got that one office on board, trialed it because I really had this vision on like, oh my God, like auctions are so interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well, to be honest with you, that was, you kind of trailblazed that
yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well, you did. No one was doing that.
Yeah,
one
no.
even
Well,
thought
I
about
remember
doing
like,
that.
the crazy part is when I left real estate, everyone was still doing, auctions it's been a thing for a
Oh,
while,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Of course.
Everyone was like doing live streams on like Facebook. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, when I started, so when Logic Media, it was 2023. I was like, oh my god, people are still live streaming on Facebook.
And then you have like 3 people on there.
Yeah, I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you know, I told like Patty, I'm like, this is insane. Like,
Yeah.
this is like, auctions are entertaining.
Yeah.
You do actually have with real estate. Some people, you know, like not everyone's as interested, but something that's actually really interesting is auctions
Oh,
because
definitely.
it sparks the
And for
interest.
some reason, TikTok absolutely loves it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing though. I'm like, oh my god, like let's start live streaming on TikTok.
Yeah.
And we were the first ones to just
Yeah.
start it, and it just like
Took off.
I remember the first live stream, it was like 10 views, 20 views, and even to 400, 500. And I'm like, and then, you know, a brand new account with 0 followers, just got like, you know, 100, 200, 300 followers.
Yeah.
And then in like, I reckon 4 or 5 months without having to spend any money
No.
on ads or anything.
Well, you did it for me.
Yeah, even for you, like,
Yeah,
you know,
you did. You did.
it was just like, it just popped off. It
Oh,
just blew up,
exactly,
right?
yeah.
So it's just like, it's just change.
Yeah.
I like change. I'm
Yeah.
always like all about change.
Yeah.
And you know, that's kind of where it started, I guess. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, and again, like even just the videos and Ray White, what Ray White Corporate National had to, you know, there was influence there as well. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, you know, this isn't, but that
Yeah.
it still
Yeah.
seeped through over
Yeah,
time.
I feel like, you know, it was a, you know, it was a, see, like with social media, people tend to follow other trends.
Yeah.
But the biggest, like how you can grow really fast on socials, you can follow trends, correct? Trends can get you views and followers and all that stuff. But my biggest growth, like the biggest peak was like, I remember when I had like maybe on TikTok around like 100,000 followers. I went, I know around like in a group, like I think I got to 200, but I was
Yeah.
posting every single day. And I went from 200 to like 1 million in less than a week.
Yeah.
And that was because instead of, because I was following trends and growing.
This was your gaming side.
Yeah. So I was following trends and I was growing on social media, but I actually started a trend. So
Yeah.
I was
It
one
was
to
you.
start
Yeah,
to
that's
trend.
right.
And then that went from like in a week, you just went whoosh, like, you know, it just went like
Yeah.
blew up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, it's hard though to be a trend starter.
Yeah.
But that's
You-
where,
Did you know you were being a trend? You don't know that you're being one, though, do you?
don't, it was, you know,
Yeah.
I remember that night because that night changed my life. I was in bed at like 10 p.m. and I'm like, like I came up with this idea with, you know, with this game that I played. I'm like,
Yeah.
no one's done that. I'm like, how? Why? And I'm tired. I'm like, you know what? Really want to try it. So I got up and I spent like 4 or 5 hours trying to get the content, did it, posted at like 6 a.m. Like, oh, I'm just going to go to bed now. I woke up like 30 million views and I'm like, and then it was just, it changed my life.
Yeah.
And then that kind of was like, and then I'm like, I was fortunate enough to actually experience what I've always wanted to experience as a child. You know, as someone young, which
Yeah.
is like, you know, have that, you know, feel of the power that actually social media has, because when you get to a level in socials, you actually have so much influence.
Yeah.
And, you know, if I wanted a new phone, I didn't have to buy it anymore. Like, hey, like, you know, I could just ask for that thing. Hey, I'll do a video for you. Give me
Yeah.
that. And, you know, I wanted a new PC. I got a 20 grand PC for free.
Yeah.
All I had to do is just, you know, sponsor them or put an Instagram story.
Yeah.
I'm like, I had this power,
So, you know,
and it was just social media.
So
and it was
good.
just like get invited to things. And then, you know, like people don't really, I feel like people are realizing now why it's important, especially in real estate, right?
Yeah.
So real estate, it's funny. I was with an agent last night, and then he's about to hit 1 mil for the first time.
Yeah.
Um,
1 mil followers.
no,
views?
1 mil like he's about to hit
Oh,
his
yeah.
PV.
Yeah.
But what's changed from like what he changed in the last 12 months, he spent over 100 grand on social media marketing, which is a lot of money. But and then I did the maths. I'm like, so you just spend 100, but he's tracking the numbers, which
Yeah.
is good because it's always important as well. Like you
Yeah.
got to track the numbers.
Yeah,
It's like any business. You got to treat social media like a business.
Yeah.
It is part of your business.
Yeah.
It's a backbone of most businesses. 100 grand. And then I'm like, do you know how many listings you got from it? Because it was like target marketing and stuff. He got, it's like 25 to 30. I know easily from those, like, you know, the ads
that
and
is
stuff.
okay.
Yeah. You know,
Paid for itself big time.
oh, paid for itself, and it's like it's not like a, you know, he got those listings, but he's gonna get more listings from those listings. So even if, you know, you break even, it's there's a win there. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
always, you know, and he's got all this exposure now. He's reached to all these people,
yep,
and it actually gets easier as well. That's something people don't realize. I
yeah,
remember when, you know, the hardest part with growth on social media, growing a platform was the 0 to like 100,000 followers, or like getting it to like 10,000.
yeah,
That's the hardest part.
definitely.
And then from the easiest one for me was from 1 to 2 million
Yeah,
followers. That was the easiest. Like that was actually so
yeah,
easy. That
yeah,
was the easiest one for the whole. But the hardest part was actually the start, because it actually gets easier. You know, when people know you,
yeah,
like, you know, the platforms will like reward you as well. You know, when you're active on it, and it's, you know, it's not, you know, people go, oh, what's the secret? There is no secret.
no,
I actually feel like there is no secret.
it's activity, but we'll talk a bit about agents and what they don't do on social media, because we'd love to see more agents doing more
Yeah,
and more
well,
video. And
that's it. You know, it's funny because, like, you know, I was telling like Patty, I was telling like, you know, some of my friends, I'm like, if I ever like went in any industry, for example, real estate, I feel like even though I haven't been in the game for a while, but I know with confidence I would dominate
yeah,
because I know I'll just go so heavy with marketing.
yeah,
You know, people can say they're the best. People can say, yeah, I've sold 500 houses in the last 10 years. But like, if you're not on like, you know, if you're not on social media, the probably people don't know about it. Like you
yeah,
can say all that stuff,
yeah,
yeah. And like people, like most people on the phones all the time. You know, you go home, like, you know,
oh,
you can, you know, when it comes to real estate, like, yeah, you can, people can door knock until like what, 6, 7, but there's a deadline for it. You can't door knock after a
that's
certain
right.
time.
Yeah,
You can't call someone after a
yeah,
certain
you
time.
can take over their screen anytime.
Yeah, anytime, you know, like, and people go on the screens a lot,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like, you know, and then you know what? I even, you know, I was talking to, you know, even this morning, I was telling some agents, I'm like, even if you're not on social media, it doesn't justify, it doesn't give you a reason
yeah,
for you to tell yourself, I shouldn't do it.
yeah,
I don't, if you don't, you know what, you're busy with life, doesn't mean it shouldn't be a part of your
yeah,
business.
yeah, agreed.
You need it.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, and then, you know, the easiest one, like most agents kind of get like, oh, like they realize it's like a light bulb moment when
yeah,
I say, if you're not doing it, I promise you someone next door is going to do it
yeah,
and then you're going to regret it.
yeah, that's right.
You don't want to have that feeling.
Yeah,
And I feel like I've applied that with my entire life. It's like do everything that I can, go 100% in. So
yeah.
I never want to look back and go, I should have, you know, I should have done that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one of our trainers, Josh Fegan, he talks about you should be doing 4 to 5 videos every listing, different videos.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of stuff.
And then people like, I hear it like, oh, I don't have time. Are you sure? Like, are you telling me? Like,
Yeah,
it's to me, it's like,
you haven't got time to promote yourself and your business.
yeah, it's like, you know, and then and I feel like most people don't even know what marketing
Yeah,
is.
that's true.
Like, you know, people go, is it just posting videos? No. Like, what is marketing?
Yeah,
The whole, like, marketing is not just reaching to you, you know, your uncle and your cousins or whatever that follow you.
yeah,
The whole point of marketing is like, especially in like real estate or most of these
yeah,
industries with businesses, is reaching people that don't know you. It's exposure,
yeah. Of
brand awareness.
course. Yeah,
You know, like it's, you know, I still like, I think it's people are aware of it more. Like people more like real have realized
yeah,
how powerful it is
yeah,
now. But um even now I feel like people, you know, they're just giving themselves like they're just giving excuses.
yeah,
Some
yeah,
agents are killing it with it though. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie. And those agents, those are the ones if you just get them sit here, they'll tell you how much it's actually helping them.
yeah,
I've never heard anyone say, you know, I spent so much time on marketing and money and investment, and they've said, but I didn't get any return. I've
yeah,
never
yeah,
heard
yeah,
that.
yeah.
No one's ever
No,
said that.
no. Mate, my Logic Media, tell us about the vision you and Patty have had, and what's your vision going into the future? I know
Um,
you've shared a few things with me, but I'll leave it up to you what you want to talk about.
Look, with, you know, like Logic Media, like we wanted to be, because there's a lot of marketing agencies around. The goal was, you know, what I've realized. So that's the thing. I like to find gaps in the market,
Yep,
and then there's always a gap
always.
in
Yeah,
anything you do, right? There's always the ways you can be different. What I've realized when I started it, I'm like, oh my god, like, because we just started our social media, like, you know, services.
yep,
I'm like, people using all these different people for different services. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. I'm like, I want to create like, a agency or a play like a company where people can just come to us and we provide the best of the best,
Yeah.
like the best service in that, and without, because another one is like another, like, you got to look at what's on the horizon,
Yeah.
right? Marketing cost is becoming an issue. So, and then I've realized you can actually, we've just like worked around it with the team and like with this right structure. And thanks to Paddy as well, he knows how to run a business. So
Yeah.
I've, picked his brain on
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Um, like like kind of create this all these services that you don't have to chop off an arm and a leg. You can just, so you get the best value, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
uh,
Using VAs at all?
Getting into it
Yeah.
now.
Getting to it, yeah.
Yeah, getting into it more now. More VAs. Team is important. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not like, some people like do a great job. Like, I know photographers and stuff that just, it's a one man show. They do an incredible job, but
Yeah.
I'm here to make it add value to businesses and not just one business. I
No.
want to actually take over, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of been set up now. So we actually provide pretty much any marketing service
Yeah.
you can think of.
Yeah.
Next goal is, we are wanting to expand, not just in Melbourne, just
Yeah.
nationally.
Yeah.
So that's the next goal.
Yeah,
We're
awesome.
doing a hard push on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like if you want to, I don't know if you got any questions with like real estate and stuff.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think I was just going to ask you too. Like you've passed like 1 billion views, which is incredible.
Yeah.
What do people misunderstand about achieving that type of scale?
Um, Look, it's like I tell people, views do matter. Everything matters, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like, like let's talk about real estate because
Yeah. Yeah.
so in real estate, I feel like one people like something that real estate agents don't appreciate is firstly like they've got VPA, vendor paid advertising.
Yep.
Making sure they're doing the best marketing for their clients,
Yep.
and then through that they're actually getting some marketing themselves as well. You know, Social media wise, like there's the 5 pillars that I've like in my head. So when if people should always look at the numbers. Like,
Yeah.
if you telling me, yeah, I'm so active on socials, and if I ask you, do you look at your numbers, and you said no, then don't be surprised if you get to a stage where you're not growing.
Yeah.
Or if you genuinely want to grow on any like on social media, you actually have to look at the numbers. And why it matters is because in the last 3 months, if your average views haven't changed or your views or your likes,
Yeah.
you need to change that. That's a red flag right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a day thing, but after a month, if you don't see any growth, you need to change, make a change, right? When it comes to views, for example, or like likes. Let's talk about likes. If your videos are getting the same amount of likes, that means you're not coming up with any good ideas.
Yeah. No.
People like good, like they like something to see, something fresh. When it comes to comment, when it comes to, because you got to make sure if you're posting on any platform, there's likes, comments, shares, saves, average time views. When it comes to comment, people tend to comment. I'm one to really comment on any videos.
Yeah.
But if I comment on a video, that means they've triggered something
Yeah.
in me. Not in a bad way, it can be in a good way.
Yeah.
So with comments, it's you got to trigger some like an emotion in someone.
Yeah.
With likes, it's just coming up with a good idea. Average views. So average views is you post a 1 minute video, 60 seconds.
Yep.
If someone watches that for 30, that means you're sitting on that 50%. But you want to get that as high as you can. You want someone to watch your whole video.
Yeah.
That these little things, if you focus on those, you will see growth.
Yeah.
Shares the same. Like
Yeah.
people tend to share videos when they see value in it. And then same with saving a video as well.
Yeah.
Like not many people save. Like I save videos that I want to watch later.
Yeah.
And then what would make me want to watch a video later must have something great in it. Like a great, like a, not like a information,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
So agents can actually apply that to their
Yep,
content as well. It's not just property videos. They need to do some personal branding, right?
Yeah, that's good.
So personal branding would be, and people feel like it's like, rocket science.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, with AI and stuff, you can actually use AI to come up with scripts.
Yeah.
I'm
Of
not
course you
saying
can.
it's so. I think it's good to actually like. I want people like when it comes to, like, it's a piece of art. So when you're making a video, it's actually like it's a creative like thing.
Yeah.
Like you're creating something that's creative.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so when it comes to like content, like yeah, do your property videos and that stuff, but like what else? Like how are you different from others?
Yeah. Yeah.
Share your knowledge, be the expert.
Yeah.
If I'm the expert in marketing, then I should look like the expert online too. I should,
Yeah.
post videos around that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're auctioneer, right? What do? You actually post auction videos
Yeah.
to showcase your auctions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not that, it's pretty simple, right? There's so with agents, there's a lot they can do,
Oh,
like
definitely. So much more.
knowledge based content. There's a lot of agents. There's the testimonials, because
Yeah.
a lot of agents think you shouldn't sell yourself. Like
No.
I'm not a huge fan of that. You work with clients.
Yeah.
If you've done a
Giving
good job,
content. Is better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Promoting others as well.
Yep.
So that's another one. People
Yeah.
like feel funny around it. Like, if you know another business owner, promote that business.
Yeah.
Go out of your way, make a video on that business,
Definitely.
and then
Yeah.
put it on your platform. And then how you're promoting yourself through that
Yeah.
is that business will share it on the page.
Yeah.
Their friends, their family, all this, it'll just get spread around,
Yeah.
right? Collab with people.
No, definitely. I think, well, for all those agents, hope you're listening to what Daniel's saying right now, because there's lots of good advice there. But, mate, walk us through, you're working with a new brand, new client. Just to give us a top line kind of, how do you approach that?
With so it's the so when we if I'm working, I just sat down with a prospect before, right?
Yeah.
So I look at the business and then go, what sort of marketing they're doing at the moment. Are they doing any marketing? And then some people feel like they genuinely think they're doing marketing in their head, and
Yeah.
I look at it and it's just them posting like
Yeah.
just photos.
Yeah.
Like that's not
And
marketing.
they're not getting any reach because,
And then you look at like the numbers again, that's for each client. I just like to look at what they're doing right now, what sort of numbers they've
yeah.
pulled in the last six
Yeah.
to 12 months, and then put a plan in place. I'd tell everyone like it's an investment. Everyone that I sit down with, I'm like, just so you know, I'm not going to tell you a return for investment of if you put that much money, this much you're going to get back. That's not how it works. It's brand awareness. It's an investment.
Yeah.
You will get something out of it. It's hard to put a dollar figure on it. But that's with me. It's just look at what, like, you just plan account, like, just create something that's I know I'm confident with that will work
Yeah.
over time. That's what it's sounds simple because it is simple.
Yeah.
Just doing it though, and I've got obviously I'm lucky though because I've learned obviously in the last couple of years. I've made mistakes too,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in running a business.
Yeah.
I always make sure I've got enough capacity in the team. I
Yeah.
always make sure the training's there, the quality's there. Um,
What else? Is that yours or mine? That's all right.
the training's there, the quality's there. So, put a plan in place and
Yeah.
make sure I can actually deliver as well, because
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah. One thing with your business, since I last was involved with you, you've scaled up heaps.
Yeah, because it's so
the
important.
challenges you would have had with the investment around hardware and everything else. Like, we won't even go into it, but people wouldn't understand how you've had to scale and probably what pain you've gone through.
Yeah, it's
to
hard.
invest.
It's really hard. Look, it's hard, but like at the end, I wouldn't be here without the team
Yeah.
I've got, right?
Yeah.
It's just all around like your team.
Yeah.
And that's with any business,
Yeah.
even with real estate businesses,
Yeah.
it's not, you've got, your one man shows here and there, but like the best businesses, they've got the best team behind
Yeah.
them. And I feel like I've got that and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky, and that's what I sell to people as well. Like, you're not just dealing with me.
Yeah.
My team, like you've got 20 people that
Yeah,
work
that's right.
hard,
Yeah.
and we'll give you the best of the best. Like,
Yeah.
we'll try our best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's
and
good. That's
we go
good.
in with confidence, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's just do some quick advice for agents
Yeah.
and business owners. So talk directly to agents and business owners listening today. What's the biggest mistake you see them making on social media? Obviously not doing it. One.
Yeah. Well,
What else?
not doing it
Yeah,
is one.
yeah.
The other one is I laugh about it because I still see agents like like they start the videos with like, hi, this is, and like, this is
Yeah.
Daniel Nick, or like
Yeah.
just like they feel like they need to make an announcement. They
Yeah.
don't really
We already know
realize,
anyway. It's on your
like,
social
mate,
media.
yeah, even if someone, so they don't realize what people go on social media for.
Yeah.
I don't go on social media to watch a commercial ad.
No.
It's an entertainment.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's entertainment platform.
Yeah.
Like people go on socials to connect
Yeah.
with their friends, families, share reels or
Yeah.
memes or whatever. People don't care about your hi. This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I do. No
So
one
just get
cares about
straight to
that.
the point.
Just get straight to the point.
Yeah.
Like with going back to average views, like how you can actually increase your average views in your videos. It's a hook in the
Yeah.
video. There's a bad hook and a good hook.
Yeah.
Bad hook would be your typical like introduction, like for if we're engaging social media video, you got to get straight into it. You got to
Yeah.
be creative.
Yeah.
So you see now people like doing creative stuff on like even property videos. It's not starting with hi, this is blah blah blah. It's like, hey Siri, I'm looking for blah 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 blah, and it captures attention, right?
Yeah.
That's what you want. And then you can capture attention visually. You can visually hook someone in. It's never been. It's so easy now too.
Yeah.
What they're doing wrong right now though would be just your
Yeah.
typical. They're still so, and they feel like they are doing marketing by just listed,
Yeah.
just sold, just leased. Like that doesn't work. You've been doing it in the
Yeah.
last 5 years, and then you've grown by 10 followers.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it
That's
doesn't
right.
work.
No, I think you got to be creative. So,
Yeah.
mate, if you strip back to basics, what should real estate agents focus on first to improve their digital footprint? Because it's overwhelming to a lot of agents. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. What should I
Yeah.
do first?
Well,
Start.
just start. Like
Yeah.
it would be, most people, and when it comes to change, no one likes it. It's like accepting that change is happening. Like with even when it comes to like AI is the perfect example. Like I remember when Chat GPT, when it was growing, like blowing up, it was like, oh, I don't want to upload some documents. Now I feel like everyone's just uploading their whole life in there anyways. It's like I think like they've accepted it. It's like accept that it's changed. Things have changed.
Yeah.
You're not comfortable behind a camera, but nothing in life. If you want to be successful, you're not gonna get that from your comfort. You got to get out of your comfort zone. It's not. Yeah, it just would be accept change, accept this is just how it is. Get out of your comfort zone
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
probably a big one. Get out of your comfort zone.
yeah, and
It
then
is. It's confronting.
yeah, it's like going to the gym, right? Like
You remember what was that with my auction videos? It was freaking me out all the time.
that applies to anything you do in life. When you first called your first auction, you
Yeah,
probably
a lot
like,
of stuff, yeah.
it probably wasn't the most comfortable thing for you, right?
No,
You would have done all that training, but
Yeah.
now it's like if I told you, hey, you got auction in 10 minutes, you just be like, yeah, done.
Yeah.
You smash it out.
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, that's it. How can an agent or a small business in real estate you compete with the larger brands online? Because you can be as big as they are if you know what you're doing.
Online. So are you talking like like followers?
Yeah, just social, like the message, or how can you?
Yeah, like so it's changing the mentality. Like it's not yes, you should look at what others are doing, but you should never be scared of
Yeah.
what like how big the next person is.
Yeah.
Like when I was doing my gaming stuff, there's always someone big. There's always a
course.
bigger fish.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's if like how you can compete with them. It's not so much a competition. It's not like when it comes to socials, you're not like you got to be yourself. Something that's everyone's different. Online you got to share your personality,
Yeah.
be yourself, and that's something that next door neighbor doesn't have. They're not you. Everyone's so different.
Yeah.
Auctioneers. Every auctioneer is a bit different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's not about how many numbers and stuff they've got.
Yeah.
It's not about competing with them. With not like as
No.
long as you're doing the right thing,
Do your thing.
just do your thing, do it right,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters. And give it time. Yeah.
Good, man. Good answer. I touched on this before, but if an agent is feeling overwhelmed about content creation, what's the simplest way to start?
Overwhelmed, like they don't know where to start. Like
Yeah. What do I put out there? What do I say? What do I do?
look,
Talk to you.
Yeah. Well, look, there
It's a
are,
pleasure, man.
like real estate. Look, I know a lot of real estate agents that still like do a lot
Yeah,
themselves, but it's actually, it's funny because I feel like a lot of real estate agents, business owners, they sit down and they plan stuff or
yeah,
planning for business. Sit down and actually, use, everyone's, use online, like use AI, use Google, like
yeah,
search some stuff, search some ideas, search some, like I mentioned a couple of ideas
yeah,
there, but come up with some ideas and go, okay, so which one can I start with
yeah,
first? Which one can I start with
yeah,
tomorrow if
yeah,
I wanted to?
yeah,
How do I start it? They can always, yeah, they could reach out to someone like me and
yeah,
like, other agency, third party, like, other people outside the business, which, if they're a busy agent, that's what they should be doing
yeah,
anyways. They shouldn't be wasting their time, making TikTok videos.
yeah.
It's not very dollar productive,
No,
I would say.
yeah,
But like as a, if I was an agent that was just starting up with content, I would just can't sit down and come up with some ideas.
yeah,
Use, AI and all these, like if I had to start today, I'd use AI
yeah.
like mostly,
Just to
come
get
up
you
with some
started. Yeah,
ideas.
yeah,
Where should I start?
yeah,
Ask AI.
yeah. There
It'll
you go.
even tell you.
That's probably the best advice, just to get started. So,
Yeah.
mate, I've got three questions for you, and a quick shout out again to your co-founder, Paddy McConaughey,
Yeah.
Logic. So he's, you guys have built an incredible business.
Thank
But,
you.
mate, what does success look like for you today?
It's a hard one. Like, it's a good question. It's a great question. If you asked me that maybe like a year ago, I would have probably answered something
Yeah,
differently.
but
But
where you are now,
with
you
me,
probably wouldn't have thought you'd be where you are
yeah,
now a
yeah,
year ago.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Like to me, what's like I feel success right now because I'm so content and I know I'm doing something I love and I'm adding value to
yeah,
people's businesses. And then knowing in the back of my mind, if I'm adding value to someone's business, if I'm helping
yeah,
someone grow in the business, that means, their business is growing. They're going to be doing better in
yeah,
life. They're going to be hiring more. Someone else is going to get like, it's just like, I just
yeah.
knowing that it's having that
So
effect.
adding value. Yeah,
It, it just helps me to be so content and so grateful.
yeah,
So to me, like, I am very grateful, and I feel like that's success.
yep,
One of my goals would be and I got this from Rex actually. Would be legacy. I actually want to build a legacy
yep,
as well,
yep.
which it's never been like money and stuff. I think that's
No,
what's actually
yeah,
helped me a lot
yeah,
too, because I feel like a lot of people get into like business and they want to be successful because they want to make money. It's not about that.
no,
Do what you love and be the best at it,
yeah,
and do it right.
yeah.
And then the money is just the cherry on top.
Definitely. I think that's great advice for everyone. What about this one? Mindset. What mindset or principle has helped you the most navigating through this digital space and Logic Media?
You would know as one
Yeah.
of,
Well,
as
curiosity for one,
yeah, like, just always, always be curious.
Yeah.
Like, ask, I tell my team as well. And I told like the leaders I'm training in the business
Yeah.
too, because I've got this from other people, like, for a lot of like my other mentors, like Patty,
Yeah.
like I've got a lot of great people around
Yeah.
me. And it's like,
Yeah.
be curious, be fair, be honest.
Yeah.
Um, you know, every this is from Dom. Every action has a reaction.
He's got some good ones.
He's
Yeah.
got some
He's
good
got some
ones.
good ones.
Every action has a reaction.
Yeah.
So there's always a consequence. It
Yeah.
can be good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just I feel like from the most successful people from what I've seen, it's just being a good human being and just be honest,
Yeah.
be curious,
Yeah.
and put in the hours. And I guess it sounds like don't be lazy. Like put in the work.
Yeah.
There's no one else to blame but you.
No, you're right. No, good answer, mate. Last question for you, mate. What advice would you give someone trying to build relevance in a constantly changing online world?
Good question. Things are changing every day. Like
Yeah.
it's there's days when I'm like, oh my god, I wish like it wasn't at this pace. Because when it comes to social media,
Yeah.
online marketing, it changes pretty much every day. It can
Yeah.
change every single day. Um, but it's almost like reading the news. You just have to be on top of it.
Yeah.
You got to do your research. You
Yeah.
got to invest time in it. I think how I stay on top of all these trends and stuff. I spend time. I give my time to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't expect to stay on top of stuff if you're not investing your time in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So I spend my time, like, you know, as like you know, we do social media. So I actually try to not be on social so much, but my screen time's crazy because I
Yeah.
know I just can't stop myself from investing time to see what's happening, to
Yep.
do research,
Yep.
you know, to get on top of stuff and not to, because, you know, I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, you know, I even like, I hear it from people like, oh my God, like, I don't like how fast AI is growing, for example. Like even in my industry,
Yep.
you know, AI is actually growing at such a rapid speed
Yep.
where I feel like there'll be a time where most people don't even like we people would still need like people to show up to
Yep.
record and photographers, videographers, but like with personal branding, most people can just do it themselves so
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
This program I just tried a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
I uploaded one of our own videos.
Oh,
I'm
which one?
like, um, it was what was it called? It's an AI that runs in your system,
Oh,
like
yeah.
in your PC and laptop
Yeah.
24/7.
Shit.
So what it does right now, right? So I can go and you can talk to it. So right now, it's still kind of in, you know, test phase,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but like I can go to Telegram or WhatsApp and it's on my PC running and I can go text it like, hey, can you make me 5 graphic photos, well, 5 graphic posts and, you
Yeah.
know, design me a website that looks like this, whatever. I can
Yeah.
text it through and then
Takes it to you.
and
Claude.
well, that's the thing. It starts working on it, and then so in the next couple of hours, you know, it'll go. Yep, it's all done on your
Yeah.
PC. It's
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
So
Geez.
it's my AI is
That's good.
going to the next level.
Yeah. Oh, it
So
is. Yeah. It's incredibly insightful, you know, what you've done, where you've built the business to, how you're adding value to clients and new clients and the relationships you have out in the industry. I think you're certainly a big part of real estate. You've certainly trailblazed a lot of different trends yourself. As you mentioned, when you're in gaming, you did the same thing with TikTok
yeah,
way back when. But yeah, what stood out, I suppose, was real influence. You know, it's not just about chasing attention, but earning trust, staying consistent as well. So, guys, tune into this podcast for our listeners. If you're in real estate or running a small business, some great advice there from Daniel from Logic Media. Thanks again, mate.
thanks, man.
Thank you for
Appreciate it.
listening to the People Behind Property podcast. Be sure to subscribe, and I might mention your podcast. Someone should meet. Someone give it to.
Someone you should meet.
Look out for that one as well. I know you just kicked. Have you got is it out yet?
Yeah, it's out. It
Yeah.
just got out.
Check
Yeah.
that one out as well.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Until next time, we'll see you again. Well done, mate.
Thanks, man.